Does a parking ticket have to be physically placed on your car in order to count? Well, you're likely here because you've either just committed a parking contravention but didn't get a windscreen ticket, or you've just received a parking fine through the post. Either way, you've probably heard the rumour that parking tickets have to be placed on your car in order to be valid, and you're wondering, is this a genuine loophole? There are quite a number of parking fine loopholes which can be used to appeal against a parking ticket. If you can prove that certain procedures or requirements were not adhered to, then you may be able to successfully appeal against a ticket. Things such as parking companies not providing clear signage, not allowing a 10-minute grace period, and charging more than a government capped amount. If you want expert advice on appealing using one of these loopholes, then you may wish to consider consulting a solicitor for advice. I'll cover this in a moment. However, exactly how you received your ticket, whether on the windscreen or through the post, doesn't factor into these loopholes, except in one scenario. In order to understand this, you'll first need to understand the two main types of parking tickets. If you committed a parking offence on public land owned by the local council, you'll have received a penalty charge notice. However, if the offence was on private land, say a supermarket car park for instance, then you'll have received a parking charge notice instead. While these two may look and sound remarkably similar, they're actually quite different in how they work, with council penalty charge notices being an actual fine, whereas a parking charge notice is considered more like an invoice you have to pay. Council PCNs are by far the most strict and fast acting of the two, with court action being possible in just over 42 days in some circumstances. PCNs can be either left on your windscreen or sent through the post with no effect on their enforceability. Private tickets, on the other hand, whilst still not to be ignored, can take far longer to escalate up to court, and a private company cannot really force you to pay anything until a judge says so. However, just like with a council PCN, a private ticket doesn't need to have been left on your windscreen in order to be enforceable. But I mentioned that there is a scenario where how you received the ticket does matter. What I'm referring to here is tickets from private companies who are not registered with any accredited trade association like Poplar or the IPC. These companies cannot ask for your address from the DVLA, so if you received a postal fine from them, beware, they may have accessed your address illegally. Do your research, and if in doubt, you can check if a company is an ATA member by calling the British Parking Association. Beware though, the call is not free. If you're still in doubt, then you may want to speak to a solicitor for expert advice. This could cost far less than you imagine, and there are now many online solicitors who are quick to contact, easy to speak to, and very often far cheaper than meeting in person. For instance, JustAnswer has a trial that allows you to contact a solicitor for just £5. My colleague used their service and he managed to save over £270 on a parking ticket. There's a link to JustAnswer's trial in the description, and if you use that, you'll also be supporting Money Nerd, so thank you.